Now the text tool is pretty easy to learn. All you have to do is click on the text tool, and then you can, there's two ways to use the text tool. You can just click here and leave it, and you can just, have that text there. Or you can create a text box, and you do that by clicking and then dragging. So I'm dragging here, and I'm going to put hello. And the nice thing about text boxes, I always recommend doing text boxes because they're a lot easier to work with. So I can put that hello to the right or to the left or center it, and I can move the text box around. I can put that over here, and you'll notice that hello doesn't change. The size of hello doesn't change. If I select on this guy and I move it, the size of hello changes. Okay. You can also type along a path. So if you have, let's say for example, let's do a circle. I'm just going to make this a stroke. So there's no fill, and I'm going to click on type on a path tool. Then you can click the type tool onto a circle, and then you can start typing on that path. It takes a little time to get comfortable with this. Now that once you have it on that path, you can take this little line here and move it around on the outside, or if you drag it down, you can move it into the center here. And you can do that for any path. So you could do like that. Or let's say you just want to create your own path. I'm going to just make a line like this. I'm going to get rid of the fill, and then I'm going to click on here. So, and this is centered, so I'm going to actually do it right justified. Hello and welcome to Illustrator. It's hard to talk and type. And again, if I want to move this, I can find this little guy and move him along the path. Let's see. There we go. Actually, here's the beginning. So we'll click on that. We can move him. See how it goes along the path like that? So you can do something like this, and that actually looks pretty cool. And for the most part, I just see people doing text like on an incline. So they'll be like, well, that's not a good example, but you get what I'm saying. So that's basic type tool stuff. There's also a number of other things that you can do that are more kind of like InDesign. For example, if you've got a box of text, let's say, okay, I'm going to go in and go to lorem2.com has dummy text that you can use. So let's say I've got this dummy text, lorem ipsum text, if you will, copy. And let me go, if I want to put this in, I'm just going to put this at 12 and regular and paste it. Now we've got a lot of this text here and it's working fine, but at the bottom you'll notice you have this little square, which means that there's more text down here. And if I drag and pull this down, you can see all this text that didn't fit into the box. So one thing that I can do if I'm creating a brochure or something that's got text that needs to continue, I can put another text box, say over here, and I'm going to click on the selection tool, and I'm going to grab this little red square and drag it. Let's see, there we go. No, I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to drag it over to the other text box. And now these two text boxes are linked. And I can move this text box to anywhere I want, as long as you see this little line going between them. Again, this is something you have to practice a little bit. Watch, for example, let's do a test. I'm going to copy this. Oops, let's copy. Great, I just made a new text box there. Let's copy here. I copy it and I'm going to paste it right here. And you'll see what happens on this side. Control V. Okay, see, now you see how this went down here and continued here. And that's something that you see as in InDesign. It's a pretty cool feature in InDesign. So you can just start typing or whatever. But anyway, so that's a basic introduction to the text tool. And there's some more graphic-based stuff that I think is interesting. You know, let me do one more quick thing now that I'm thinking about it. If you want, you know, fonts aren't just letters and numbers. Sometimes fonts can be widgets, and they can be pictures and things like that. So let's do this. I'm going to put hello, or actually let me just put Illustrator. And I'm going to make it, I just did one click so I can change the size of it. Now I'm actually going to make this a little more bold, like it's a logo. Now let's say that you're making a logo and part of that logo is the letters, and you need for this to be not a font anymore, but you need it to actually be a shape. One thing that I do a lot is I will go up to type and do create outlines. And when you hit create outlines, now this is a vector shape, okay? And this is a very good thing to do if you are working with a EPS file or an AI file and the person that you're sending it to doesn't have Illustrator. Maybe they're importing it directly into Photoshop. So now I have this and I can change, you know, the color on it. I can put a stroke. There we go. Oops, I didn't put the, see what happened there? I put a stroke on nothing because it wasn't selected. And we can make the stroke bigger. There we go. And that's a way that I use Illustrator a lot, you know. And then you can actually go in and let's take this up a notch. Let's just pretend like we want to take a trim off a little bit of this top here. So I'm going to just draw a circle. Oops, that wasn't good. Unselect that. And now I'm going to draw a circle. In the circle, I don't really want to have this. And let's try what we learned before, the shape builder tool. Let's copy these two. Now let's go to the shape builder tool. And let's minus that circle part. Does that work? Now we've got all these areas here. Oops. Control Z. Oops. Negative. Click negative, click negative. That's pretty cool, huh? I mean, it makes it a little hard to read now, but it gives you an idea of what you can do. We still get those text paths in there. Let's get rid of that. Backspace. So that gives you an idea of the ways that you can combine tools now. Select that. I gotta say the shape builder is really one of the best adjustments, best additions they've ever made to Illustrator. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now this doesn't work perfectly. However, you can see how this would allow you to build some cool logos, you know, like taking a little bit of little shapes out and things like that. Okay, so that is text for now, and we'll move on to the next class. Thanks.